If there's anything I like in this world, it's roguelike games and achievements. Obviously, I like a lot more things, but for this YouTube channel and my gaming interest, those two subjects seem to intertwine a lot. Most of my fully completed games on Steam in terms of achievements are roguelites, and as of late, I've had a sickness of achievement hunting, and the only cure is hearing that little... Ooh, yeah, that's the stuff right there. So what I want to do is re-explore a roguelike game that I never really gave enough attention to. My last achievement hunting video was Enter the Gungeon, and I played that game for 100 hours before doing that speedrun challenge of completing the game, if you can call it a speedrun. But how will I fare with a game I'm not as familiar with? Well, luckily I have the perfect game in mind for this, and it's Roboquest. I really like Roboquest, a super fast-paced FPS roguelite with co-op options that has Borderlands-style graphics, Doom-style gameplay, a lot of challenges, fun and unique meta progression, lots of variety with unlocks, and of course, a lot of achievements to get. 86 to be exact. Some more easy than others, but I want to explore this game because I only played it for a solid, 15 hours on Steam and always say it's a game I want to get back into. So let's get back into Roboquest and see how fast I can get every single achievement in the game. As is true with every game, Roboquest has some pretty horrible achievements that will take you a good amount of time, but also has a lot of simpler achievements that are really easy to acquire. There's 86 achievements total, so of course, some will be easy. I'll say there's only 2 super hard achievements in this game, which is completing the museum, which requires collecting basically everything in the entire game, and completing the game on Guardian 4 difficulty with an S rank average on every single level. I view that second achievement to be incredibly hard. This game gives you a grade on every single level you play based on A, how many enemies you kill, and B, how fast you do it. The Guardian difficulty will be another challenge as it's the highest difficulty enhancer, but we'll be worried about that when the time comes. Starting this game off, we grab an easy achievement by turning the game's language to French, and I learned that the achievement pop-up doesn't get shown while playing on Xbox Game Pass on PC, so I'll need to fix that after my first day. Just trust me, I'm grabbing a lot of achievements, and we grab one more free achievement before our first run with having the camper van jump before the loading screen. Now, those are the 2 easiest achievements that I'm actually aware of. Roboquest still has a lot of easier achievements with dealing a certain amount of damage, killing a certain number of enemies, grabbing a certain number of wrenches, and each of those have 3 achievements themselves. And there's a lot of characters to unlock and win the game with. But first things first, we play as the Guardian and start this adventure, and about 5 minutes into the first run, we already grab our 3rd achievement for dealing 10,000 damage total, which was obviously going to happen pretty fast. We then killed 500 enemies total for our next achievement, and a few minutes later we found our first data log for our 5th achievement. The data logs are one of the many collectibles in this game. Every level has a handful, and they're hidden all across the game. And on top of the data logs, the game has a lot of secrets that I'm totally unaware of, but we'll figure them out as we go. It doesn't give you many hints, but you do get a lot of items. So eventually we'll be complaining about not knowing what to do, most likely. But after that, we started unlocking a couple characters. We unlocked the Commando class for defeating 750 enemies total, and then almost immediately after that, we got another simple collecting achievement for collecting 50 wrenches. Golden wrenches are the meta progression after a run that allows you to level up your base camp. You get an achievement for fully upgrading it, but we won't focus too much about that. Just know I'll be spending these wrenches. We're still in the first area of like our 2nd run at this point, still not really that good at the game, but we find the secret level in the oasis behind a waterfall and find an NPC who is looking for some swim trunks. He will be more important later on for sure, but for now we pick up a javelin, which allows us to unlock another character with the Ranger. Now, you know about the Guardian difficulty enhancers that you unlock for completing a run, but there's a lot of other items that can affect your run with gadgets and power crystals, and these next couple achievements we unlock are related to those. We unlocked our first gadget by giving this old man 5 data logs, but then more importantly we find a power crystal. Power crystals are found in corrupted levels, which we do get an extra achievement just for finding a corrupted level, but power crystals will make the final map in a run easier, while spawning more elite enemies inside of a run. They also do give more permanent upgrades with meta progression, but like these gadgets, they can be turned on or off whenever. There is 6 power crystals total with multiple achievements, so I'll try to keep this one updated as well, but this was the only power crystal I was totally aware of, and we get another easy achievement during the boss fight before the power crystal for collecting 50 power cells total, which is just another currency. We're not done with the first chapter either. We did multiple runs on this first day, and we did get past chapter 1 on most of them, which did reward us with an achievement, and I kinda missed it because I just didn't hear it pop up. But about 3 hours into this day, we get another secret done, thanks to Twitch chat, who remembered this 3-digit passcode, which allowed us to pick up a shovel, which gives us an achievement, and then we activate this lever in the same room to grab another achievement. Like I said, there's a lot of easy achievements in this game. In the exact same run where we may have accidentally committed some war crimes, with that lever, we get a silly achievement with the first boss. Of course, every chapter has multiple bosses, and this first boss is a giant bomb who does have a couple of achievements related to him. But we unlock the achievement for blowing ourselves up and killing ourselves. Hey, we never have to do it again, so that's nice. We then proceed to unlock yet another character with the engineer by just getting the base camp up to level 4, which is just unlocking a lot of meta progression. The rest of the first day is pretty slow. I played for about 4 hours total and never made it past the second boss, but we do grab the achievement for killing 5 bosses total, and then 10 minutes later we unlock the achievement for dealing 500,000 damage total. In that same run, we also showed a photographer a weapon because he wants to take a photo of whatever weapon he wants. The first one was the blunderbuss, but he is one of the many NPCs with side quest, and once you finish the side quest, we will receive a gadget. But for now, he takes the first photo. And in our final run on the first day, I managed to grab an achievement for reaching 75% ammo capacity with the Guardian. I got this because I picked up a weapon with a higher mag, and then got an item that also increased my mag size. I did this by total luck, but hey, I'll take it. And after day 1, I will admit I was pretty impressed with my initial day in Roboquest. After about 4 hours of playing, we got 20 achievements, which is pretty impressive, but like I said, there's a lot of easier achievements that we picked up on this day. There's a lot of secrets that we'll need to learn in the future and that I'm totally not going to Google anything for. We're just going to have to see what day 2 holds and see if we can get some more hard achievements out of the way. Day 2 had a lot more success immediately because in the first run, I was able to actually beat the second boss, which unlocked us the recon. And then a few minutes later, we got the achievement for finishing chapter 2. 2 achievements done just like that. But even on day 2, I still did not figure out how to get the achievements to show on the screen with Xbox Game Pass on PC, so just trust me, I'm unlocking them. But this first run still holds a lot more to it. We ended up spending 40 power cells in a single run, and then a few minutes later, we unlocked the achievement for dealing 1 million damage total. These are achievements that we knew we'd unlock, just a matter of time. We even beat chapter 3 on this run. This first run of the day did end up making it to the final boss, and surprisingly even got me to the second phase. Hell, it unlocked me the achievement for killing 10 bosses total after the first phase, but this moon area is incredibly hard. You fight through 2 rooms filled with so many enemies that are stunning you, hacking you, and you need to dodge like crazy and make sure you have a good build if you want any chance of survival. I did not survive phase 2 of the boss fight though. It was a close fight, and the next time we get to this final boss, I'll be feeling pretty confident. The second run of the day was not as successful in terms of length, considering I died to the second boss, but in terms of achievements unlocked, it was quite successful. We got a simple achievement for gathering 250 golden wrenches total in the middle of the run, but in the very beginning of the run, we got a secret achievement for picking up our buddy bot. Picking him up once will give you the option to take this little bot as a secondary weapon, and the bot is okay. It gives you a little friend for a solid 10 seconds on their right click, and they do a small amount of damage. But hey, a free achievement just for picking them up. But the funny thing about the buddy bot is they're more than a weapon, as they're also a key. I said it earlier about this game with secrets, it has a lot of them, and it has a lot of doors that are locked behind gathering certain items. In the first level, the canyons, you have 3 different options on which path you want to go to next, and if you choose the oasis path, you can find yourself opening a locked door behind a small waterfall with the buddy bot, and you can turn him into a fantastic weapon. I do that on this run and get 2 achievements for it. 1 for equipping a fantastic weapon, and 1 for making buddy bot into a fantastic weapon. 2 easy achievements. In this room also, we found a pair of shorts to give an NPC named Johnny Waterfall, who was also in the oasis. He's that first NPC we found with the javelin. We give him the pants and he gives us a new gadget. No achievement, but it's our 3rd gadget unlocked. And Johnny will now give us a very powerful item every run that we see him on. There's still a lot more to this second run despite dying. We collected a couple gun cards cards as well, which may not seem important, but the most grindy achievement in this game is the gotta catch 'em all achievement, where you need to basically collect everything. And every single gun has a card you need to collect after 230 kills. So I'm constantly switching my guns, trying to make sure I slowly grind this away, because it's a long, tedious achievement for 10 gamer score. But I sadly will probably not talk about this one too often. The last achievement we got before dying on this second run for day 2 was beating a boss without taking damage. We did this on the first boss and just kind of spammed our little ultimate ability that gave us a small window of invincibility. I only did 2 more runs on day 2 after this because these runs in Roboquest are quite long. The first one died to the exact same boss as the previous one, no achievements, but was still fun. And the actual last run felt really good because we had an explosion build going and most enemies were dying pretty fast. I got an achievement in the beginning of the run for head bonking 5 enemies in a row. In reality, this achievement is very easy. You just need to find one big enemy and jump on their head 5 times in a row. And then we also killed our 5,000th enemy on this run. Another achievement that is easy, it just takes a small amount of time. And in my case, about 8 hours. The run died to the third boss and I was a little disappointed, but I know the next time we do make it to the moon, it should be an easy win. And then in day 2, there's a couple things on my mind. 1, I gotta really start collecting a lot more data logs, and 2, I gotta start finding all the secrets for all these NPCs and do their side quests, because all of this stuff is part of the gotta catch 'em all achievement, so I really gotta up my A game in this. My ideal time for this challenge is about 45 hours. How long the beat has it at 40 to 50 hours for a completionist, and if I want to get that done, I need to start winning a lot of runs and unlocking all the secrets. But going into day 3, I had a few ideas to help make some progress. The idea in mind is really simple. Start solving all of the secrets that Roboquest has to offer. Sure, the game has a lot of levels and data logs to collect, which will require a lot of different runs to find everything, but what we need to do first is to get the most important secrets out of the way to help make runs a lot simpler. And on this third day, we do just that. The biggest secrets to find are definitely the power crystals. At this point, we have 1, and each crystal does make a run a touch harder in general, but it makes the end game a lot easier, which makes it worth having them on since the end game is where I struggle the most. In our first run, I'm aware of a power crystal that is after the Oasis section in chapter 1, but you need to get there within 3 minutes of starting your run. So that's what we do. We speedrun through the canyons and Oasis and find ourselves in another corrupted level. Each power crystal has its own corrupted level you need to finish, and this one is super simple. You race through a level and defuse a bomb. If you don't make it to the bomb in time, you die and it's game over. Luckily for me, I was able to do it first try and defuse the bomb with 0.2 seconds to spare, and got my first achievement of the day for defusing the bomb with less than a second remaining. And we got the blue power crystal, which will help make the final boss a touch easier. The rest of this first run ended quite fast. The second run of the day, we grab a quick achievement for killing 15 bosses total, and then end up grabbing a 6-digit code in the energy storage stage in chapter 2. We got a tech lab key from an area after Doom Gardens, which also has a power crystal, but we failed to get it on this attempt, but we still have this key. And unlocking the tech lab allows us to buy a fusion core key, which will lead us to another secret, but also gave us the 6-digit code for another future secret. That's the only thing that happened in the second run, minus killing my 15th boss total for the 35th achievement. Just lots of secrets. The third run, it's a mix of a lot of achievements coming fast and slowly chipping away at a few secrets. Early on in the third run, we encounter another NPC bot with side quest with Wall Street Slim. His quest is simple. You just give him a power cell every single run. But the first time you give him a power cell, you're rewarded with an achievement. And this is the first time we've seen him, so easy achievement early on in run 3. And then about 20 minutes later in the field level, we talk to Snapshot Sam, you know, the guy who likes to take photos of guns. Well, he wanted one more gun and I just so happened to have it with me, and he ended up giving us our 4th gadget. But in the next 10 minutes or so, a lot of stuff happens in this single run. We go back to the Doom Gardens where we failed to get a power crystal in the first run and try again. This test is to just kill enemies and collect a yellow orb to add a second to your timer. It's mostly filled with enemies that jump around and explode if they get close to you. And in my first attempt, I had a more projectile-based weapon, which made them a lot harder to hit. But this second run through, we ended up grabbing the 3rd of 6 power crystals, which does unlock an achievement. And while I was writing this achievement down, I realized I also got an achievement achievement for grabbing 20 data logs total. And then 2 more minutes after this crystal, I find a robot frozen in an ice cube. And lucky for me, I could buy a weapon with a burn effect in a nearby shop and defrost them. Sadly, they seem to be quite dead, but we grabbed another gadget from this robot and got the achievement for our 5th gadget total. And that's everything in the 10-minute period. But at this point, this run is also insane. We have items to boost elemental damage with a lot of upgrades to boost it as well, and to boost our fire rate and ammo capacity when we use our ult, on top of items that deal incredible burn damage as a whole. So it's safe to say this is our best chance to clear our first of many runs. And in terms of secrets and collectibles, this run is still far from over. But 15 minutes after the last gadget, we find ourselves in another corrupted level with a lot of enemies, and while in this corrupted world, we find another side quest item with Randy's nose. We haven't even met a dude named Randy yet, but hey, we have his nose. And after that, we have a more than simple boss fight to grab our 4th power crystal, and this one actually reduces the health of the final boss. The rest of this run is more calm. We saved Burger Bill. I don't even know what the hell he does, but hey, we saved him. We reached level 15 on the moon to unlock an achievement, and then we finally won our first run almost 11 hours in. We unlocked the first difficulty enhancer with Guardian 1. We also unlocked 2 achievements, one for finishing the game, and one for finishing the game with the Guardian. So now we're gonna play as the commando next, who has a rocket as his special little ability. Between the runs, there still isn't that much. The meta progression is slowly getting filled, and each power crystal we have gives us a permanent buff. And we're slowly unlocking every gadget, and even unlocked another one for completing the game. The first run we have with the commando dies about halfway through it, but we did end up grabbing a red cinema ticket and the 5th power crystal in the pit, which is another corrupted level that you can access in chapter 1. This corrupted level is just clearing 3 corrupted challenges and then a small little boss. But the first commando run gets no achievements, but a couple secrets done. Our second commando run is the final run on day 3, and I'll admit that this run was terrible. First, I'll say we didn't even win and ended up dying on the moon to the final boss, but we should not have even made it that far. Somehow I ended up with a build based around using buddies, and that's a fine build if you're using someone like the engineer, so I don't know how we had this run make it this far, but the good news is we grabbed a lot of secrets and a couple achievements on this last run. We made it back to the energy research section, and we finally were able to use the 6-digit code we wrote down from the first run. With that code, we unlock an art gallery ticket and the elementalist. To my knowledge, the final character, but I think I'm wrong with that. But hey, we got an achievement for unlocking them. The rest of this disaster run is making it to chapter 3 in Haven City. Haven City has 4 locked buildings. 3 of them require a ticket to open, and we have 2 of those tickets with the cinema and art gallery. On this run, we open both of those up, and the art gallery introduces us to another NPC who wants a paintbrush. Not a clue on where that is. So we'll be back to him eventually. And the other ticket allows us to meet Randy, and we already have his nose, which unlocks us another gadget after we give it back. But those buildings also have a data log, and that's basically it for this run besides my not so tragic death on the moon. We also did get an achievement for killing 3 different enemies with a single rocket, but hey, we're dead. But the third day of Roboquest brings our achievement total count to 44 of 86. Incredible pacing, because my initial goal for this was 45 hours for every achievement. We'll see what day 4 brings us. Day 4 is similar to day 3, and it's more about grabbing a lot of secrets and collectibles than grabbing achievements. And I'll be honest, most of this day, I was terrible. I was trying really hard to get to the Aqua Station level because I'm sure it had the final power crystal because it was one of the last unexplored areas, and every run was just kind of failing and dying trying to get there. Our first run, we did grab a data log, which gave us 3 wrenches, which ended up pushing us past 500 wrenches total for a quick and easy achievement, and we ended up only grabbing 2 more achievements in the next 4 hours with winning a Wonka Bar gamble, which gives us 20 power cells, and then towards the end of the day, we took down 10,000 enemies total. The rest of the day is just finding a lot of data logs and never getting the power crystal. I know for a fact that I'll get it very soon, but progress towards other achievements is well underway. We ended up grabbing our 35th data log, which unlocked us a metal detector, a very nice gadget, which shows us where every data log is in every chapter. And at the end of the day, we are only missing 4 or so data logs, so we'll be having all of those soon. We also ended up digging up a random gadget out of the ground, which leads us to 9 gadgets total. And then most importantly, we bought the paintbrush for 8 power cells for the Leonardo bot in Haven City. That's what I'm calling them. And I did not not realize how powerful this bot is. He will sell you the cards for enemies and weapons, which will speed up the process of the museum achievement exponentially. Each card seems to be 10 wrenches, so once the meta progression tree is fully upgraded, we can start to focus most of the wrenches on these cards. And the meta progression tree is only missing one more upgrade for 99 wrenches and 1 power crystal. While day 4 is lackluster in achievements since I lost every run, it's still a super productive day, mostly thanks to the data logs and Leonardo. But I did have one run almost go the distance. I just sadly did not have a good enough weapon for the final boss, as my main weapon was more up close and, well, this boss is not up close, so the commando is still being used. The 5th day was short, but quite effective in a lot of areas. Our first run, we're still trying to win with the commando and unlock the final power crystal, which we still can't find, but someone in the Twitch chat helps me out, and we will get to that soon. But this first run was actually built around the missiles mostly. Elemental runs seem to be the strongest by far in this game, but I really wanted to get a win without it, and this first run went perfectly. We grabbed 15 items total for an achievement at the very end of the run, and then we unlocked the achievement for winning with the commando, and then a surprise achievement for repairing a portal in endless mode. A nice little bonus for sure, because I didn't even mean to do it, but hey, we repaired it. With the commando done, we were now focusing on winning their run with the ranger, who is mostly built around javelins. And I had 2 pretty good runs going with the javelins as the main focus, and before the first run, we bought the final item within the meta progression, so now we can spend all of our wrenches on the cards in Haven City. Each run you can get 3 cards total, and each card costs 10 wrenches, so if I have 30 wrenches every single run, this museum will be filled out in no time. Now back to my 2 good runs. We grabbed 1,000 power cells total, we grabbed the 6th and final power crystal, dealt 1,000 damage with a javelin, and then received the achievement for all base camp upgrades after the second run. We did make it quite far on those runs and did die to the final boss, but we grabbed a lot of achievements in that time, and we did one more run on this day. But I will say this run makes me feel a little bit dirty, and let me explain why. In Haven City, there's a secret orange door that I cannot get into unless I beat the 4 mini-boss-esque enemies in the city within 22 minutes of the run, which means we gotta go fast. And I decided to just throw this on to the easiest difficulty and see how we do, since every run has been on the hardest difficulty available. And well, this was too easy and kinda boring. I easily made it to Haven City and got the orange door unlocked. The orange door led to some intense fights, but on the easiest difficulty, it wasn't that much. And then we got a bow tie for the dead butler bot back in Aqua City. The rest of the run is super simple, and we unlocked 2 more achievements for completing the game with the buddy bot, we had them equipped, and winning the game with the ranger. It feels a little dirty, but hey, we got the achievements. Day 6 brings us to almost a week of Roboquest. But hey, it's only 4 hours a day or so, and day 6 is truly a special day. We grabbed the bow tie during our last run, and our current objective is getting to Aqua Station to revive the little butler. Now on the first run, I avoid going to the Aqua Station to give a power cell to Wall Street Slim again, and he gives us our 10th gadget. Only one more gadget to go. And then we die for an hour and a half. Listen, this recon character is based around dashing forward and using their dagger, or that's the build I was going for at least. Every single bot has their own special ability, and I try really hard to get a run going around that ability. But I never really liked melee builds, and this was showcasing why. I just could not grab the right upgrades that gave me good health sustain while using a melee attack along with having good armor, and after 90 minutes, we finally make it to Aqua Station. And it turns out, we were missing the last gadget in Haven City still, meaning we needed to clear out those 4 bosses before the in-game timer got to 22 minutes again, which isn't a big deal. Our current run dies, and our next run is the run. Not for Haven City and our last item needed for the butler bot, but for this melee build. We grab every possible opportunity to buff the melee attack and the healing cells that drop, along with having an okay enough weapon to deal a little extra damage when we need it. And this run ends up actually getting all the way to the moon and easily winning. It's funny how I say say I hate the melee builds, but then have my best run ever with said build. Throughout the 2.5 hours of running the recon on Guardian 2 difficulty, we finally win a run and grab the achievement for clearing a run with the recon. We also grabbed the class-based achievement for killing 3 enemies in a single swing with the dagger, and we found this weird portal in the middle of a bad run and went through it for another achievement. Guardian 3 difficulty is up next with the engineer, but before we do that, we play a standard run with the original robot, the Guardian, which is also super easy after playing on the Guardian difficulties. But we went back to get to the Haven City within 22 minutes, and we do. I completely forgot about the secret area that holds the grapple gadget and the last data log in the game. So we get the achievement for 11 gadgets and collected the last data log, which isn't an achievement, but it's nice. We also grabbed our usual 3 cards from Leonardo in the blue arena, and before having this run die, we picked up a sword called Captain McSlice, which secures us another achievement. I actually hated using that sword because wearing it made you take 35% more damage, but hey, an achievement is an achievement. Now we can officially start these Guardian 3 runs with the engineer, who I was looking forward to playing as because I always like having little turrets and buddies in these types of games. And around this time, I also started to really pay attention to the museum, as it is still the most daunting achievement with collecting every card, picking up every item, and just doing everything in the game. I started solely picking up any item that was marked as new so I wouldn't miss it. And with that said, our goal to get to Aqua Station was complete in a few runs, with the engineer and grab an achievement for reviving Alfred, who ends up giving us a power core. And before reviving Alfred, we also had 5 buddies at once for the engineer-based achievement. This one was easy, and we fast forward through killing a bunch of bosses with a great shock build, and we're on the moon with this Guardian 3 run. We put the super core in a little dead robot on the stairs, and he flies away. Our run then proceeds to die, which is a shame, but we go back to the base camp and talk to Superbot, learn of his tragic backstory, and then unlock him for the final character and another achievement. We still need to win a run with the engineer and the elementalist, and now we can add the Superbot onto that list because we just unlocked them. Hopefully day 7 we'll be able to recover from the tragic death that we just suffered on the moon. I won't lie, day 7 was pretty terrible. Every run ended with death, and I made it to the final boss a lot. But I did grab 2 achievements throughout the day, with getting the maximum armor bonus at about 60% and 2,000 power cells total, so it wasn't totally lost. Day 7 was terrible, but day 8 on the other hand, well, let's go over it. Our first run, we dominate the entire time with the engineer with a more shock-oriented build, and even give 3 power crystal powders to this guy on the moon. He allows you to filter weapons to be on or off if you have the card available. No achievement, but we got the final quest done, and then we won the run and unlocked the achievement for clearing the game with the engineer. It was now time for the elementalist, who I assume is the best character with their harder unlock method and with the elemental damage being so strong, and I was completely right. This run becomes busted so fast, and towards the end of the run, I realize I have S ranks on every single level, and it's down to the final phase on the moon, on Guardian 4 difficulty. Oh, gamers, do you believe in miracles? Oh my god! Oh, first Guardian 4 run is a victory like that? That's insanity, man. That's insanity. Somehow, on my first attempt on Guardian 4, the hardest difficulty in the game, I clear it with the Elementalist and get S rank on every single level. That run unlocks 4 achievements total. First, it was clearing the game with the Elementalist. Second, it was clearing the game on Guardian 4 difficulty. Third, it was clearing the game with an S rank average. And then fourth, it was clearing the game with an S rank average on Guardian 4 difficulty. Just like that. The hardest achievement is done, and it wasn't even that hard. I am now part of the 0.38% of Xbox gamers that have done this achievement. With that run being as successful as it was, we only have a couple more achievements to do total in the game. I bumped the difficulty down to standard mode and invite a Twitch viewer to join for the co-op related achievements, because this game does have a few co-op achievements that you need to get. Shout out to Momo Death for joining on this. We both instantly go down in the canyons to get the achievement for reviving your co-op partner, and then we also grab the achievement for dying in the canyons. Oh, we also got an achievement just for joining the server together. So 3 achievements just like that. And there isn't much to say with this run besides I'm playing as the super bot, that last character we unlocked a couple days ago. They have a couple achievements to grab as well, so I thought I might as well play them here. Standard mode is incredibly easy to me now after playing on Guardian 4, and it kinda shows. Inside this run, we dominate, really. I end up grabbing the super bot related achievement for hitting 5 enemies with a stomp, and then grab one of the last miscellaneous achievements with maxing out my movement speed, which was about 70% bonus speed. We easily win this run and both grab the achievement for clearing the game in co-op, and I grabbed the achievement for winning it with the super bot. At this point, we have 7 achievements left, and 4 of them are tied to endless mode, which I've never played. I bumped the game up to hard difficulty and try endless and die pretty fast. But luckily, getting knocked down in endless mode is an achievement, so there's one. The 3 remaining endless mode achievements are having 5 perks at once, having 6 singularities at once, and grabbing a booster, which is actually incredibly hard to do. Listen, after winning on Guardian 4, I'm a little tired, and this is the exact same day. And a run in endless mode could take you 2 to 3 hours to get to 6 singularities, and I'll explain. After 2 levels, you get a boss fight versus 2 bosses, and after that, you gain a singularity which negatively influences the rest of the run. So you need to do 12 levels while it constantly gets harder. I did not feel like suffering through a harder difficulty for this towards the end. Even the difficulty being on easy made this actually really hard. The 5 perks achievement we gained around the 7th level or so. You gain perks on certain level ups, so we only had to get to level 15 or 16 for our character to grab a 5th perk. And then a booster was grabbed towards the end of a run at level 26. It just restored health, but 2 annoying achievements out of the way with endless, and during this run, I grabbed the elementalist achievement for dealing 1000 damage with a single comment. Hell, we were doing 2000 damage with every comment towards the end. But the final singularity that we need for the final endless mode achievement was behind these 2 bosses. And well, you can see what happens. Oh my god, I got a little bit scared there, dude. Jesus, I got hacked and then lost 400 HP. Have 6 singularities simultaneously active. Yeah, it was a lot closer than I expected. Getting hacked in this game absolutely ruins you, and it almost cost me 3 hours of my life. But the final endless mode achievement is done, and we have 2 more achievements left. If you do endless mode, please don't feel bad about bumping it down to easy or even standard. It's hard as hell to get these standard mode achievements. If you do it on a higher difficulty, I applaud you, but I'm not doing that. I got stuff to do with my life. But we had one more achievement to worry about before this big grind, and it was killing Diggy Mole with a bonk hammer. We need to play as the Guardian, the original robot, and one of his perk upgrades turns his melee ability into a giant hammer. And once the perk is grabbed, you kill the first boss with it. There's like a 33% chance the boss spawns, and luckily for me, both times I attempt this, the boss spawns for me. My first attempt, I accidentally killed them with a head bonk, but the second attempt is clean, and now we only have 1 achievement left. After 35 hours of Roboquest, I grabbed 85 of 86 achievements, and this last one is a grind. The 8th day went better than I expected, better than I could ever imagine, really, but this last achievement is filling out the museum. Luckily for me, it's mostly filled out by playing the game, but I need to collect all the cards for every gun, every enemy, and pick up every passive item. I already collected all the data logs and found all the secrets, seen all the cinematics, so these are the last things I need to do. After these 8 days, I need about 50 cards total and 4 items. Lucky for me, in Haven City, Chapter 3 in a run, I can buy 3 cards from a friendly bot, which will help make this final grind a lot easier. The passive items were pretty easy because most of the items we missed were fantastic variety, which you can grab a free one on every single run if you go on the Oasis level. So every run we choose the Oasis path and grab the free fantastic item. That was a majority of the items. We did have a pickle item that took forever to find, and I even got tricked once. Oh! No, wait, that's a cucumber, son of a bitch! You tell me you wouldn't assume that's a pickle immediately. But we grabbed the pickle basically 2 minutes later. The biggest part of this grind was the weapon and the enemy cards. It took me until now to realize an item tells you if you have a card when picking it up or holding it. This made the grind a lot easier, as if I see an item I don't have a card for, I just pick it up and use it constantly. Every run ends after Haven City, and this only took a handful of attempts before we finally finished the museum. After 6 hours of grinding like that, we unlocked our last achievement after 40 hours of game time. Hey, that's not that bad. Going into this challenge, I wanted to get all the achievements faster than the completion time, and I did that. Barely. But some achievements were a lot easier than expected, or maybe I got lucky, like finishing the hardest difficulty with S rank average. Imagine if I didn't get that on my first try. We could still be grinding Roboquest instead of me recording this script right now. Hey, me. Regardless, Roboquest is a game I always wanted to play more of and fully dive into, and I'm really glad I did. I made a video on it when it first released, but it didn't fulfill the feeling of excitement like this did. Thanks for watching this big Roboquest grind. If you want to watch these achievement hunts live on Twitch, you can on twitch.tv/Burr. And really, that's all. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.